Guys, it is so good to be with you this morning. I'm going to be honest. We have a nickname for Mondays around our house. We call them Mush Monday. And here's what could happen on Mush Monday. And I think one of the ways that we mistake, maybe relaxation for rest. And what I mean by that is oftentimes we'll feel this kind of just need for refreshment. I feel it. I don't know if you feel it. I don't know if typically that's Saturday for you, or maybe that's some other point in the week, because we all have different schedules in different ways and it looks differently. But for me, Mush Monday, actually what that kind of means is just, it's a reminder that I need to maybe slow down and meditate. And I know that meditation comes with it this kind of weird, spooky mysticism of ooh, what does that actually look like? But what I simply mean by meditate is that I want to slow down to bring attention to my thoughts. Because I think sometimes it's in the mush that thoughts can run rampant, right? It's when we're undisciplined, it's when we're distracted, it's when we're kind of at our weakest and our vulnerable, that's when we need to be most protected. And so I want to bring my mind into focus, I guess. It's a word called mindfulness. And so I think what David is saying when he says, search me and know me, God. When he says, I've hidden your word in my heart that I might not sin against you. It's this realization of my mind left unto itself can be dangerous because it's fearful and it's prone to wander and divide and be lazy. But instead, I want to just find refreshment this morning. And so I know the thought is Monday, go. Thanks for the thought on Monday, Danny. I could have used that yesterday, or I could use that this coming Friday, but that needs to be every day, doesn't it? Why do we have a tendency? I don't know if you have this tendency. We had it happen to us yesterday. We are driving Noah to camp. We get halfway there. It's about an hour and a half away, and we realize both Lynn and I have forgotten our wallets, and we have a choice to make at that moment. We can keep going and hope that we make it. Or we can turn around, go back, pick up our wallets, get gas. It's going to be a colossal waste of time. It's going to take 40 extra minutes round trip for us. It's going to be super frustrating. Noah's going to end up being there later than we thought he was going to be there. All those different things. But I think I had a thought of let's risk it. Let's push through. Well, maybe we'll make it, but also maybe we're going to end up on the side of the road with no money, no wallet, no gas, Titus with us, and it's going to be getting close to 7 o'clock, and by the time we get somewhere and we get back, what am I thinking? Don't we do that with our week? Hey, let's push until we're ready to break, and then, oh, by the way, guys, I'm at a point of burnout. But I think the burnout comes because we don't build this regular rhythm of just slowing down, of resting. And so maybe that's your 15-minute break today. Maybe it's looking at your precious kiddos and saying, listen, I need space, you need space. Maybe it's use the TV as a babysitter. Happens. Maybe it's a walk that gets taken. Maybe it's just simply at the end of the night. Maybe it's just a chance for you to pull out a sheet of paper or journal, write down, this is what I'm feeling, this is what I'm thinking, this is what I'm going through. And as you write down that honest stream of thought, going back and going, what's true, what's false? And so I was struck this morning thinking about what is prayer, and reading a book by Henry Nouwen that I finished called Following Jesus, or Henri Nouwen, depending on how pious and holy you want to be, I guess. But he says that prayer is simply coming to the presence of God and saying, here I am. And this morning, I don't have a lot to say to God. I don't know if you do either. Maybe your mind is racing in 100 different directions, and so it's tough to bring attention. And so maybe it's just sitting down. Here I am, God. Because I think that's just the juxtaposition between Sunday and Monday. Sunday we wake up and we go to church and we eat lunch out, and it's just supposed to be slow before we run ourselves ragged for 5 days. Is that the life that God's called us to? That doesn't seem like the abundant life. That seems like the productive life. And all production machines wear down and have to be replaced. So friends, I encourage you today, take some time, meditate, Mush Monday. God, thank you so much. As we talked about yesterday, that we wouldn't just memorize, "Come to me, all you who are weary and heavy laden, for you will find rest." I pray, God, that we would practice that. Father, help us to find rest and rhythm consistently. Help it to be part of our lives, not when we're brought to the end of ourselves. God, help us to constantly be reminded that you're near, that you're present. Father, that if we're Christians, there's nowhere we can go that you're not with us, that you live in our hearts. So God, right now on my deck, it's holy ground. Our cars are holy ground. Our playgrounds are holy ground. Our cubicle is holy ground. Our cash register is holy ground. God, help us to become more and more aware of your just tender, loving care, of your nearness. God, we want to drink living water, refreshing water. So God, we give you today and the whole week, not just the end of the week. God, help us to do the radical thing of slow down, stop, be silent. Teach us to be mindful. We love you. We thank you for loving us. And it's in your Son's name I pray. Amen. Love you guys. Praying for you. Pray for me. Pray for our elders tonight. We have our meeting, and just every 2 weeks we meet. Just such an awesome opportunity to be amongst godly men and to really challenge one another, not to do more, but just to love more, to love God more, to know him more. We're having some great discussions. And so just pray for continued spirits of unity, of clarity, and a vision of what God is desiring for us as we love on our city. And so love you guys. Praying for you. Pray for me.